110 years ago, on July 28, 1915, the United States occupied Haiti when 330 U.S. Marines landed at Port-au-Prince, Haiti, after the National City Bank of New York convinced the President of the United States, Woodrow Wilson, to take control of Haiti's political and financial interests. In July 1915, the United States occupied Haiti following years of economic and social unrest. The immediate trigger was the violent killing of Haitian President Vibram Guillaume Sam by an angry mob after he ordered the execution of political prisoners. During the occupation, Haiti saw the installation of 3 different presidents, while real power was held by the United States, which enforced through control through martial law, led by the United States Marines and a military police force called the Gendarmerie. The United States implemented a forced labor system known as corvée to build infrastructure, which led to the deaths of many Haitians. Despite the occupation, most of the population remained impoverished, while American officials received generous pay. One major change under U.S. rule was the elimination of Haiti's constitutional restriction on foreign land ownership, a law that had been in place since the country's founding. The occupation formally ended on August 1, 1934, after President Franklin D. Roosevelt upheld a 1933 agreement to withdraw. The final group of Marines left Haiti on August 15, 1934, following the handover of authority to the Gendarmerie, the American established military force in Haiti. And 80 years ago, on July 28, 1945, during World War II, a B-25 Mitchell bomber of the United States Army Air Forces accidentally crashed into the north side of the Empire State Building in New York City while flying in thick fog. The crash killed 14 people, 3 crewmen on board the B-25 and 11 people in the building. An estimated 24 others were injured. The building's structural integrity was unaffected, but the estimated damage from the collision was $1 million, roughly $17 million in 2024, which is last year. The B-25 Mitchell bomber involved was on a routine personnel transport mission from Bedford Army Airfield in Massachusetts. It would then continue to Sioux Falls, South Dakota. In command of the bomber was Lieutenant Colonel William F. Smith, Jr., 27, who had completed more than 40 missions in Europe with the 8th Air Force and had been awarded the Distinguished Flying Cross with Cluster and the Air Medal with Clusters. The co-pilot on board was Sergeant Christopher S. Dimitrovich, 30. And also on board was Navy Aviation Machinist Mate Albert G. Perna, 19, who was hitching a ride on the flight to return to Brooklyn to console his parents following the death of their other son, who was killed in action while fighting in the Pacific. Perna's older brother was Anthony Thomas Perna, 23, who was killed in action while fighting in the Pacific on May 4th, 1945. After the crash, Albert Perna's body was not found until 2 days later, when search crews discovered that his body had entered an elevator shaft and fallen to the bottom. The other 2 crew members were burnt beyond recognition. Not only were the 3 pilots on board killed when their plane crashed into the Empire State Building, but the disaster also killed 11 people inside the building's impact zone. Betty Lou Oliver, an elevator operator, was severely burned and after being flung up from her elevator car on the 80th floor. To get her to the ground floor, first responders put her on another elevator car. However, the cables that supported that elevator were damaged during the incident, and it fell 75 stories, landing in the basement. But that's not where it ends. Because of the softening cushion of air created by the falling elevator car inside this elevator shaft, Oliver survived this 1,000-foot fall. However, when rescuers discovered her among the debris, she had broken her neck, back, and pelvis. This remains the world record for the longest survived elevator fall. Also, I've got something for you. This is loose. This is an exact replica of a B-25 Mitchell bomber. See it? This is the exact plane that crashed into the Empire State Building on July 28th, 1945. Oh, sorry, it's loose there. I know this plane. This type of plane was also involved in the Doolittle raid on April 18th, 1942. And the raid was led, named after, and commanded by James Doolittle. And even if that's a stretch, I've got another one for you. This is a Lego architecture version of the Empire State Building. See this? Look at it. This is what happened 80 years ago. This plane. It was foggy this morning, and it crashed right here. Can you believe it's been 80 years? That's all the history events I have for you today. So if you like what you see, leave a comment down below and subscribe. Also, let us not forget the loss of our favorite airplane animator YouTuber, Alec Joshua eBay, who passed away from a car crash 3 days ago. We'll never forget his work. Let us pray for him and his family. That's all I have, and I'll see you next time for another history update.